We begin now at the top of Daf Nun Zayin Amid Beis in Maseches Berachos. This is Berachos Daf 57b. The Gemara begins. Amar Rabbi Yochanan Hishkim v'nafal pasuk l'soch piv hareza nevuah katan. Rabbi Yochanan says if somebody wakes up and he finds that he's in the middle of saying a pasuk as he's waking up, that's like a minor prophecy. Tana Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa shlosha malachim heim. There are three kings that a person can see in a dream. Now the rest of the sugya going on for the next few items are going to be things that kind of make sense. They match up with the kings and the various things you're going to see. So it goes as follows: Haroeh David bechalom. If somebody sees David in a dream, yitzap l'chasidus. He should hope for chasidus, righteousness. Shlomo yitzap l'chachma. If he sees Shlomo, wisdom, and Achav yidag min haparanus. When it comes to Achav, if he sees the king Achav, he should be worried that he's going to be punished. Gimel neviim heim. There are three neviim. Haroeh sefer malachim. If a person sees the sefer malachim, yitzap l'gdula, that is, he should hope for greatness. Yechezkel yitzap l'chachma. Yechezkel corresponds to wisdom. Yeshaya yitzap l'nechama. Yeshaya corresponds to consolation. The Gemara continues. Yirmiyah. If a person sees sefer Yirmiyah, yidag min haparanus, he should be afraid of paranus, of punishment. Shlosh ksuvim gedolim him. There are three of the major ksuvim. Haroeh sefer Tehillim yitzap l'chasidus. Mishle yitzap l'chachma. Iyov yidag min haparanus. So a person sees Tehillim, it corresponds with chasidus. Mishle corresponds with chachma, and Iyov with punishment. Shlosh ksuvim ketanim him. There are three minor ksuvim. Haroeh shir ashirim bechalom yitzap l'chasidus. Shir ashirim corresponds with, again, righteousness. Koheles yitzap l'chachma. Koheles corresponds with wisdom, and kinos yidag min haparanus. If he sees kinos, kinos, then he should be afraid of Poranus. And kinos here is a reference to Eicha. Haroeh Megillas Esther, and then it says that if somebody sees Megillas Esther, Nes Naselo, then a miracle will happen to him. Shlosha chachamim him. There are three chachamim. Haroeh Rebbe bechalom. Someone sees Rebbe in a dream. Yitzap l'chachma. Then it's wisdom. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Yitzap l'ashiras. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah is wealth. Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha yidag min haparanus. That corresponds with punishment. Shlosha talmidei chachamim him. Three talmidei chachamim. Haroeh ben Azai bechalom. Yitzap l'chasidus. Ben Azai is chasidus. Ben Zomi yitzap l'chachma. Ben Zomi is corresponding to chachma, wisdom. Acher, which refers to Elisha ben Avuya, yidag min haparanus, he should worry from punishment. Kol minei chayos yavas l'chalam. All kind of wild animals are good in a dream. Chutz min hapil v'hakof v'hakapud, except for an elephant, a monkey, and then Rashi says that a kapud is also some kind of a monkey or an ape with a long tail. V'ha'amar mar, but didn't the master say Haroeh pil v'chalom pela naselo, that if somebody sees an elephant, it means wonders are going to be done? So it's positive. It's not negative. This is the same Gemara we had earlier. Gemara gives the same answer. Lo kash, it's not difficult. Had misarig, had lo misarig. It depends if it has on a saddle or not. If it has a saddle, then it is a positive thing. If it does not have a saddle, it's negative. All kinds of metal utensils are good in a dream. Chutz mimar, pesel, v'kardom. The exceptions are if you have a hoe or various kind of axes. These kind of utensils are not good. V'hani mili dechazinu bekatayo, and this applies only if the person sees them with their handles. Then they are, Rashi here explains that if a person sees it with the handles, it's negative if you see with the handles, because then it means it's used for destruction, so then it's considered negative, but otherwise it would be considered, even the hoe and the axes would be considered positive. All kinds of fruits are good in a dream. Chutz mi page, tomorrow, except for unripe dates. All kinds of vegetables are good in a dream. Chutz mi rashi liftos, except for turnip heads. But didn't Rav say lo yatri added the chazoi rashi liftos? He said on the contrary. He said he only became wealthy when he saw in a dream the turnip heads. So the Gemara answers ki chaza b'kanayu chaza. Gemara says that he saw it when they were attached to the ground, when they were with their handles, so to speak. Then they're considered positive. Otherwise, they are considered negative. And Rashi here points out that the Gemara earlier actually mentioned this, that the turnip heads are negative, and that's when it's talking when they are not attached to the ground. And in that case, they were a sign of lashes. That was the Gemara earlier with Bar Hedya and Rava. Gemara now says, Kol minei tzivonin yafin lechalom. All kinds of dyes or dyed wool, perhaps, are good in a dream. Chutz min tchelas, except for tchelas, the blue wool. Kol minei ofos yafin lechalom. All kinds of birds are good in a dream. Chutz min kirya v'kapofa v'korporai. So this refers to, it's explained that this refers to either owls, and some might refer to various kind of moles. A little questionable why those are considered ophos, but those are the various kinds of ophos that are not considered good in a dream. Gemara now continues here the two dots. Gimel nichnasen leguf vein haguf nene mehen. Once we're listing items, we had these lists of items in dreams. We now talk about some other lists. So there are three things that enter the body, but the body gets no pleasure from them. Gudgonios, V'kafnios upage tamara. So this refers to cherries. And then you could have bad or unripe kind of dates. These are all things that they enter the body, but they don't give pleasure to the body. They don't give benefit. Shlosha ein nichnasan l'guf v'aguf nena mehen. And then there are three things that don't enter the body, but they give the body benefit. Elohen, and they are as follows: rechitza, washing; v'sicha, anointing; v'tashmish, and relations. Shlosha me'ena ha'olam haba. There are three things that are like olam haba. Elohen, they are Shabbos, shemesh, v'tashmish. It refers to Shabbos, the sun, and Tashmish. The Gemara says Tashmish Demai. What kind of Tashmish are we talking about? Ilay Tashmish Hamita, referring to relations, Hamichash Kachish. Those should not be considered Mein Olam Haba. Those actually weaken a person. Ela Tashmish Nakam means somebody goes to the bathroom. That is considered Mein Olam Haba. That is like the world, that is similar to the world to come. Shlosha Meshivin Daito Shaladim. There are three things that settle a person's mind. Elohein, they are as follows: Kol, Umar, V'reach. Sounds, sights, visions, and reach, smells. So when you have good sounds, sights, or smells, it can settle a person's mind. Shlosha marchiv and daito shaladim. There are three things that kind of, I guess you would say, broaden a person's mind. Elohein, and they are as follows: dirana, a nice place to live; ve'ishana, a nice wife; ve'kelim noim, and nice utensils, nice things that you had, nice things that a person has in their house. The Gemara now continues: Chamisha. There are five things, echad mishishim, that are considered 1/60th of something else. Elohein, they are as follows: Eish, devash, v'shabbos, v'shena, v'chalom. Fire, honey, Shabbos, sleep, and dreaming. Eish, fire. The Gemara will explain all these. Eish, a fire. Echad mishishim legehenim. A fire is 1/60th of Gehenim. Devash, honey. Echad mishishim leman. It's 1/60th of the benefit. Or of the taste, perhaps, of the mun. Shabbos is echad mishishim l'olam haba. Shabbos is 1/60th of the world to come. Shena, sleeping, echad mishishim l'misa. It's 1/60th of death. Chalom, in a dream, echad mishishim l'nevuah is 1/60th of prophecy. Shisha dvarim, simin yafa l'chola. There are six things that are a good sign for somebody who is sick. Elohein, they are as follows: Atush means that the person sneezes. Zeya, sweat. Shilshal, diarrhea. Keri is a seminal emission. V'shena, and sleeping. V'chalom, and a dream. And the Gemara now goes on to explain each of these items. So the Gemara says, Atush, tichsiv, as it says in the Pasuk, the Pasuk says in Eov, Atishosav toilor, refers to the fact that his sneezings, they shine forth light, or they flash forth light. Zeya, sweat, tichsiv, b'zeya sapecha tocha lechem, person eats bread by the sweat of his brow. Shilshul, diarrhea, tichsiv mahar tzoali poseach, so is quick to exit, or v'lo yamus, and then he won't die. V'lo yamus l'shachas, rather, he won't die to destruction. Keri dichsiv yira zera yarech yam, it causes long life. Shena dichsiv yashanti az yanuach li, I slept and then it was peaceful for me, or I was rested. Chalom dichsiv atach li meni v'hachayeni, it made me alive. The Gemara continues: Shisha devarim merapin es achol mechalya. There are six things that heal a person who is sick from his sickness, or refuah, or refuah, and it's a complete healing. Elohein, they are as follows: Kruv rather refers to cabbage. V'tardin refers to beets. V'sisin yaveshim, dried. Penny royale. V'keva, stomach. V'heres refers to the womb. V'yoseres hakavid, and the diaphragm. V'yeshom, some people say af dagim katanim, so also or even small fish. V'lo od ela shadagim katanim ma'afrin u'ma'avrin kol gufu shaladam. These kind of small fish, they make a person's body totally healthy and fruitful. Asar dvarim machzir nasachola l'cholio. Cholio kasha. There are 10 things that make a person get even sicker. Someone who's sick gets even sicker, and it gets very difficult. Elohein, they are as follows: ha'ochel b'sar shur. Somebody eats the meat of an ox. B'sar shamin, fatty meat. B'sar tzli, roasted meat. B'sar tziporim, the flesh of birds. Uvetzat tzluya, roasted egg. V'tegalachas, and shaving. V'shechlaim refers to cress. V'acholav, and milk. V'hagvina, and cheese. V'hamerchatz, and also using the bathhouse. V'yesh omrim af egozim. Some people say even nuts. V'yesh omrim af kishum. Some people say gourds as well. These are all bad for someone who is sick. Tana devei Rabbi Yishmael. It was taught in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael. Lama nikra shemon kishuim. Why are they called kishuim? Mimnei shein kashim leguf. Kecharavos. It's because they are difficult for the body, like carib. Ini v'haksiv vayomer Hashem lo shnei goyim b'vitnech. It says when Hashem is talking to Rivka, you have two nations in your stomach. Al tikri goyim elegayim. Doesn't refer to nations, but it refers to two great people. V'yomer Rabbi Yehuda Marav. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rav, Elo Antoninus v'Rebbe. This was a reference to Antoninus, who comes from Esav, and Rebbe, who comes, of course, from Yaakov. Shelo pasak mishal chanim, that they never stopped having on their table lo tznun, v'lo chazeres, v'lo kishuin, lo b'masacham, v'lo b'mosagashamim. The key here is they didn't stop having these kishum, these gourds, which apparently that sounds like a beneficial thing. You just said it was bad. Also, they never stopped having radish, and they never stopped having chazeres. keres, which is lettuce. So anyway, the Gemara has this as a question: are kishum good or bad? And the Gemara says, "Lo kash, it's not difficult." Ha berav or ha bezutre. One is talking about when it's large ones. One is talking about when it's small ones. Rashi here explains which one is which. Rashi says Zutri is Yafin, the smaller ones are considered good, and the large ones are considered bad. The Gemara now returns to its discussion of dreams with a brisa. Taner Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa, Meis Bebayis. A person dreams about a dead body in a house, Shalom Bebayis, it's a sign of peace in the house. Achal V'shasa Bebayis, if he dreams about the corpse eating or drinking things in the house, Siman Yafel Abayis, it's a good sign for the house. Natal Kalim in Abayis, if he dreams that it's taking vessels from the house, Siman Ral Abayis, that's a bad sign for the house. Tirgamar Rapapa explains it's talking about B'misana v'sandal, it's talking about shoes and sandals that are taken out. It's a sign that people are going to be taken out of this house. Kol deshakil shichva mali barmi misana v'sandala. This is the same basic idea. Anything that a corpse takes out of the house in a dream is good, except for shoes and sandals. Called the yoyev shichva, anything that the corpse brings in, mali, it's good. Barmi afra v'chardala, except for dust and for mustard seeds. The Gemara continues with the two dots quoting the Mishnah. Makom shenekra mimenu avodas gilulim. This, the Mishnah said that when a person sees a place where avodah zarah was uprooted, there's a particular bracha that you say. So the Gemara now says, Taner Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa, haroa markulis. If somebody sees the avodah zarah markulis, Omer Baruch shenasan erech apayim la'over ritzona. The bracha that is said is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's slow to anger against those who transgress his will. Makom shenekra mimenu avodas kochavim. If somebody sees a place where avodah zarah was uprooted, Omer, he says, Baruch she'akar akum me'artzeinu. He says, blessed that the avodah zarah was uprooted from our land. Uchashem shenekra mimakom zeh kein te'akar mikol mekomos Yisrael. Just like it was uprooted from this place, it should be uprooted from all places of Yisrael. V'hashev leiv ovdeim lavdecha, to return the hearts of those who serve to serve you. But he says that in Chutz La'aretz, the Brisa says in Chutz La'aretz you don't need to say this ending part because most of the people there are non-Jews anyway, so you don't need to say that they should return their hearts to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rav Shimon ben Elazar argues and he says, even in Chutz La'aretz, even outside of Eretz Yisrael, you need to say this last line, because in the future the non-Jews will convert, Shenemar, like it says, I'm going to turn the nations to one clear language. Darash Rav Hamnuna darshaned, Haroe Bavel Harisha Tzarech Levarech Chamesh Brachos. If somebody sees the evil Bavel, Babylonian Empire, there are 5 brachos that the person should say. Ra Bavel Omer Baruch Shehechriv Bavel Harish. He sees Bavel, he should say, bless the one that destroyed the wicked Bavel. Ra Beiso Shel Nebuchadnezzar. Let's say the person sees the house of Nebuchadnezzar. Omer Baruch Shehechriv Beiso Shel Nebuchadnezzar Harash. He should say, blessed is the one who destroyed the house of Nebuchadnezzar Harasha. Ra Gov Shel Arayos. If a person sees the lion's den where Daniel was, or Kivshan Aish, or the furnace where Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were. Omer Baruch Sha'asa Nisam Lavoseinu B'makom Hazeh. It says a bracha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made miracles for our fathers in this place. Ra Markulis, Omer Baruch Shanasan Erech HaPayim La'ovre Ritzono. If he sees Markulis, it's the same bracha that we quoted above. Ra Makam Shenotlin Mimenu Afar. If a person sees the place from which they take dirt, we'll see Rashi about this. Omer Baruch, Omer V'yosa Gozer Mekayim. The bracha that he says is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says and decrees, and those things are fulfilled. Rashi explains here. Makam shenotzlin mimenu afar. Makam yesh bebavel. There's a place in Bavel she'ein behema yotzav yisham, that an animal does not leave from there. Im ein nosnim aleh afar me afar hamakam. If they don't put dirt from that particular place on it. V'u simin hashmad. It is actually a sign of the destruction over there. Umikiloseh shal Bavel. It's part of the curses of Bavel. V'yasod morina Rav Yitzchak ra'isi shenotzlin misham afar letit levinyane hamakam. They take over from their dirt to make tit in order to build. But in the end, either pshat, also makom ein bo yishuv, that area has no settlement, velo zera, no plant, velo zera velo netiya, no kind of planting of any kind, and so the brachas gozer mekayim shegazer lashmida v'kayim. The idea is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a decree to destroy the area, and that was fulfilled. The Gemara continues here. The Gemara says, Rava ki avechazi chamrei deshakli afra. When Rava would see the donkeys, the donkey drivers, they would take the dirt from this area. Tarif luyad al gabayu. He would put his hand upon them and pat with his hand. V'yamar, and he say, Rehutu, go run along. Rehutu tzadiki lemevad reusa demaraychu. Go ahead, righteous ones, do the will of your Creator. The idea was that it was a fulfillment of this prophecy. Mar Brei de Ravina ki have mati lebavel. When Mar Brei de Ravina reached Bavel, have a shakal afra besudre v'shadi levara. He would take some dirt in his handkerchief and he would throw it out. throw it into the air. To fulfill this pasuk, which again says that there's destruction of Bavel. Amar Rav Ashi says, I never heard this idea of Rav Huna. But from my own knowledge and my own thinking, I was able to understand to make all these various brachas when you see the area of Bavel. The Gemara will continue with this discussion on Daf Nun Ches Amud Aleph.